This is Cure. Looking maybe in a professional, actually changing into the game. So fresh new best of 5 for us today. As do you have to the bottom right, Red Pros player Patience. And the top left hand side, Blue Terran, Cure. Alright, so setting up into game number 1 of the series. Getting this ready to roll. As we get going. And game number 1. Let's have a look to see what's going to happen. So setting up, getting ready to roll. Let's get way on the way up. Assimilator dropping down. As we get this ready to roll. In the next couple of moments. So next call going to be on the way up, as I'm probably going to go up the right side. And Reaper on the way up. Command center starting in the natural as well. And the SCV getting set to go to. Sorry guys, just a couple of moments, just fixing something up. Alrighty. So, we obviously took a little while to get into this game, as it is going to be a proxy Stargate. We took a little while to get into this game just because everything was already in-game and stuff was already started and so on and so forth, so it was just a little bit frustrating back and forth trying to figure that out. As we do have the probe coming out over to the left-hand side. Command center on that natural, as we do have Stargate. Really is just about to finish up. Cure comes over, misses the proxy Stargate. That scout is so close to hitting, and he just misses it. And that's so frustrating, obviously, as this SCV over here has to run. Not knowing about it means that he could already have a Widow Mine on the way. He could be going into a much better defense against it. So this Oracle has potential to do huge damage here for Patience, getting in without any scouting info. And as 2 Marines and a Hellion will look to take on the Adept. So you can see the Adept pushed away over the right side. Oracle about halfway done, being chrono boosted still. And the Adept going to shade in behind the natural here, as we do have a couple of Marines are continuing over. The Adept still taking some damage, and looks like it will go down, so Adept will fall. On the other side of the map, the Reaper gets into the base, but gets surrounded. Will at least kill 1 probe. That's a full kill-off, shutdown. Now a Widow Mine on the way, but also building a Medevac, which isn't going to, obviously if you know it's a Stargate, a Viking is amazing because it's only going to help push back the Oracle at any point in time. Here comes the Oracle right now. Good target fire instantly by Cure. Good pullback. Oh my god, none of those Marines went down for so long. They all went down to 1 hit from death. And they all survived for just that little bit extra time, which meant he got so much more damage on the Oracle than you usually should in this scenario. And boom, the Oracle survives. If only just, it still does survive. Very nicely done. As our Oracle still sits out in the center. Second Oracle going to come in and join up there. Viking on the way out from the starport. Now realize, that's what I mean, right? As soon as you know it's a Stargate, there's no reason not to build that Viking, because it will just help you so much against the Oracle play early on. As those 2 Oracles sat in the upper left-hand side. Cyclone building, Viking about to finish, couple more Marines on the way out, and all of this just getting ready to go as our Nexus comes down on the 3rd base. Here you go. Phoenix is going to lead the charge, and obviously Viking doesn't really want to be shooting down the Phoenix. The Oracle's top priority more than anything. 1 Phoenix isn't going to change much of anything really. As you do see 2 more barracks dropping down. Secure again, a couple of extra barracks up and running. The Nexus is about halfway done here as well. This Patience going to be out back into the center of the map, and still a couple of Oracles and the Phoenix looking around for some damage as our Forge Twilight Cancel on the way up. Scan our tech structures, continuing along here as well. Engineering Bay, and that's a stasis ward just out in the center of the map, so looking to slow down any advancing of Kyo's army across to the other side. As we do see this, Hellions going to be able to grab a first probe. This first probe goes down, and now going for a little bit more as well, but yeah, gets a couple. Can't be too upset about that, right? Get a couple of probes here for the Hellion, and just get to continue on. Taking still down the bottom right as you do see Marines in the main base and a little bit of a drop trying to fight, but again, probe damage is, well, it felt very minimal until these Marines are still not dead somehow. The force field's actually hurting the Protoss player more than helping there. As these Marines, are they going to go for the Stalker? They kind of were. Oh my god, he got the Oracles to activate their energy. He kills 20 probes with the attack in the main. That's actually kind of ridiculous. Pure is ripping Patience's economy to shreds at the moment. 20 probes across the game, right? There's a couple on the Hellion initially. It just all adds up. It was only really that drop. That's actually ridiculous. The Viking came in as well and also landed somewhere. That's actually kind of insane. As we do see Phoenix and the two Oracles up to the top side of the map. Cyclone is going to get a lock on. And that is going to be a dead Phoenix as our army is just going to miss that stasis ward. I mean, at this point, you've killed so many probes, and you know it is Cure, obviously, as well. You push across, you absolutely look for some serious damage here. You push across, you look to see what you can do. As these couple Oracles from Patience, they're hanging out on the high ground with this couple of sentries and the Stalkers. Another stasis ward on the way down. So as that finishes, we'll see a shield battery over to the side, and, well, our Bio army still looking to come out through the middle. Kira has that stage of the game where he doesn't quite have the upgrades yet, though. I mean, he's about to have stim, but he won't have combat shields. So the question is, does he want to take this fight even if he isn't quite fully upgraded on the bio units? So that's going to be his decision in the next little while here. As we do see this medevac down the right, going to go in towards the natural mineral line. That's going to be a couple of Widow Mines burrowing up, and boom, there's a bunch of probes going down. One of the Oracles shot down as well. Cannons will clean that up eventually, but the damage is kind of already done here, and Stasis Ward is caught just in the scan, so you know that's there too. Nice blink, tries to get the medevac, but even that doesn't go the way of Patience, and it feels like nothing is going the way of Patience. Cure seemingly in a very, very solid position here. There's a little bit of back and forth from the Stalker Sentry there, left and right, a little bit of a shuffle. And it looks like Cure might just continue to fight. Fire gonna stim, Stalker's taking some damage. Sentries taking some shots as well. 4 more Stalkers warping in here as another Widow Mine goes down. Stalkers now blink out over to the left-hand side, and just going to be seeing the Stalker force continue to get going here. Another Marauder picked off. This army of Patience is coming back around this side. We're going to be seeing charge +1 armor. Robobay all on the way up at the moment. This Dark Shrine too. Good defense from Patience, because I really felt like he was in a very tough position to hold on to this, but he has been able to hold on to this for the moment. So Kira playing this well for the moment. Just grab a Stalker. Kira was very unlucky, by the way, not to qualify through the first qualifier where he played against Rogue and went 3-2. That's kind of crazy. That qualifier was a bit less stacked. I think a lot of the Korean players didn't actually even realize it was happening. It was a little ridiculous, actually. As you see our Bio stimming in. Stalker's taking a lot of damage. The Adept's taking some hits as well. And Kira's Bio forces continue to hold up strong for the moment. And it's really just keeping Patience busy. But Patience might be at least about to break back out, right? Still has this pylon over here, never get cleaned up. And because of that, it does mean that we're kind of in this position where... You're kind of in this position where you... How do I say this, I guess? We're in this kind of weird spot where we're going to, have DTs able to just warp in over on the other side of the map for free without needing a Warp Prism or anything, right? And that's going to be the sort of thing that pulls Cure back home and his attention away, and maybe by the time for this Colossus count to get to a reasonable number, because 1 Colossus isn't going to change the game. 2 or 3 Colossus, and then you really need something a little bit different here from Cure to truly turn this around. Still scanning this army. I mean, what's great is that Cure is active on the front of the map, right? So whenever something happens here, such as a Colossus popping out, Cure should know about it pretty quickly. So he's going to be able to know, and he's going to be able to start responding however he wants to respond. He might just continue. I think he'll just continue to build Liberators, actually. He's already got a couple. He sees the one Colossus. Guardian Shield pops. Patience is almost wanting to take the fight, but into Liberator range, that doesn't really feel like it's going to happen. Right? This Widow Mine is going to go down. Stalker gets picked off. Bio still pressing in here. Few DTs, few Zealots over on the right-hand side. And again, a little bit of Bio coming up. Liberators as well. Joining in, and those Zealots still charging forwards. This CC going to get delayed a little bit as our Bio will pick those Zealots off. So that will go down on the top side. These Zealots going in after the SCVs as well. So SCVs continuing to drop. The Zealots will get picked off, and Patience still trying to push through into the center. Pulling back here a little bit. Adept getting fired away on by the Liberators. And it's the Liberators that just really hold this position, but DTs are showing up, and there's no scans available, apparently. Okay, there is scans available, he's just not dropping them. He scans the army, he doesn't scan the DTs, killing his army, though. Cure, hello? Are you there? Oh, finally, he actually able to get one of the DTs, but now there's a DT up to the third base, too. At least there is a missile turret in position there. Liberators relocate to try and cover this ramp. Again, you do want the Liberators to be able to help deal with these Colossus, of course. Lots of force fields down here as Patience trying to fight this, and honestly, it's going quite well for him. DT still swiping in the third base. I don't know what's happened to Q here, because this is not what you expect from Q. Q is usually crisp on point. DT on his army, boom, scan, cleaned up, let's go. You know, DT in my third base, not losing loads of workers like he has been. Patience, by the way, doesn't even have a ward prism. He's still just warping in off the Stargate pile on the top right. Now some more Zealots heading towards the base, but he's going to intercept those a little bit. Oh, that's actually a nice catch. Widowmine does a lot of damage, and he's able to kill a Disruptor, and he gets a Colossus. Really good trades from Q. Able to pick off some vital units of the Protoss army suddenly. And now coming up to the top side here, Supply Depot taking some damage. Stalkers will blink backwards. Plus one ship weapons on the way. Secure is still getting just into more and better Liberators. And Lib range about to finish too, a huge upgrade, because that's going to make it so much more difficult to deal with the Liberators, especially when the Liberators get into higher numbers. It's going to be real difficult to make that happen just with the Stalkers. So that's going to get a little bit tough there, as you do see the scan to pick off an Observer. Patience, a couple DTs up on the top side. Still just this Protoss army having a little bit of a wander around at the moment to try and see what might be able to be done here. What do you go for, actually? It's kind of tough, right? I think he just has Patience. I mean, he's building Disruptors so he can kind of push this army around a bit more, which is obviously kind of the goal, I guess, in a way. But, I mean, he's not going in towards the Tempest, which are kind of the true, I'm going to be able to shut this down sort of thing. So that's very interesting as we do see Patience continue to move around. Stalkers do blink in, couple of Liberators sieging up, and just picking off a Stalker or two. More Libs getting set up as well. A little bit of Bio continue to come in. Disruptor shot lands on a Marine or two. Colossus coming in, and a couple of Liberators firing. Continue to set up into this, and just the Zealots coming up the top side. Still got this army from Patience around into the center, and still just seeing this Bioforce pushing forwards. Liberators on siege, pull back, and Patience just kind of pulling back a little bit. Topside Zealot's going to go charging in as well as Q is trying to shut down that Stargate. I mean, the pylon should be a priority. I can't believe Patience is just sat outside of Q's base and is getting so much done is what's crazy to me. It feels like he should never really be getting this successful, but I mean, he's just kept Patience back from ever really fighting, and Q back from ever really fighting, and now Patience looking great. Them Zealots on the top side doing a good job training. It's still the Liberators that are the issue, though, right? It's still the Liberators are the issue. Another Disruptor shot. That's going to be another SCV going down. Liberator's going to siege up again as our bio units continue to push on in, and those Stalkers still having to just blink away to the bottom right-hand side. The couple medevacs going to come out over to the left. Plus 3 armor finishing up on the engineering base. So 3 upgrades finishing, more ghosts on the way out, and well, these Liberators actually in some trouble again. Disruptor shot lands for 1 Marauder kill. Can Cure hold on? And again, it's really about the Liberators here, and for the moment the Liberators are doing their job. But because Patience has been the one out on the map, Patience is the one that's got bases coming up all over the place, mining off 5 bases, 6 base on the way up. It's really quite crazy already. It's really quite crazy already. Our Stalker force down the bottom side looking to try and grab a Marauder or 2. So gets a couple of Marauders, gets a Marine. Army coming up to the top side. Still those Zealots just ready to strike at the same time as well. And Cure, he dominated the early stages of this game. He's going to take a good fight here. Gets the Disruptors. He's definitely in some trouble though, but this is a much better fight for him. In fact, this is a fight that almost turns the game around a bit. If it wasn't for these Zealots up here, this would be dreadful for Patience. He would have lost just so much and not killed anything. But he does clean out an entire mineral line, so he's keeping the economy of Cure that little bit lower, which obviously goes a long way to helping out. These Zealots are going to get killed off as well. A couple more Zealots here also going to get picked off too, so yeah, we'll keep taking these down. Disruptor shot lands on a Ghost. It costs him the Disruptor, so obviously it's not like a, oh my god, I got a Ghost. It's actually a Disruptor that goes down, and it's obviously a bit more expensive. Cure's back into a supply lead. His Patience back around into the center of the map. Another Disruptor on the way up. More DTs are warping in. We do have a Zealot DT army starting to make its way towards the top side here. There's our Bioforce from Cure. Continuing across. Plus 2 shield weapons, shield armor on the way up as well, so shield upgrade. That's coming through. A lot of DTs here. Scan, he's got DT blink as well. A scan would be great, but it was just a bit too late because I guess he didn't expect the DTs to have blinked out away so far. So that scan kind of misses. Now he's blinking in to try and kill over here. Disruptor shot is decent. Second Disruptor shot just wards the army off so the Colossus can back away. Only 1 Liberator, and this should be a breakable position as the Disruptor going to go for the SCVs. Bit more damage on the Planetary. Still can't break it down though. So Cure holds the 5th base. And in an 18-minute game, one of this TvP, it's an absolute scrap to see who's going to be coming out victorious. More Liberators around the top side. This army on the bottom going to go just pushing in again. I mean, it's these Planetaries that are just seemingly unbreakable. I mean, this one has to be breakable, right? There's literally a Liberator here and nothing else. These all should go back up to maybe this base, but there's Liberators there too. It doesn't do too much. Disruptor's being used to obviously clean up the SCPs and damage the Planetary, so the repair gets shut down. This is the beginning of the end of Cure because he's losing the economy 18 minutes in when you've got no main base, no natural economy. The 3rd base only has economy because it's been denied so many times against a 7-base Protoss player. This is the issue. Cure will never be able to properly rebuild from this, and Patience just has to keep taking reasonably okay trades. Now at this point you don't even have to trade well, although that seems to be an inevitability because he's just got so much as well, and that Liberator count is not what it once was. Patience now blinking around this top side is really making this happen. A couple more Liberators setting up. We'll see this deeper on the top side going down as well. Stalker Colossus force in the center as the Stalkers blink in. Liberators are going to get picked away out. Medevac's going down as well. Colossus moving in from the top down in towards the center. Disruptor shot going to be picking off a Ghost as an EMP lands on Marauders. Feel like that was a bit misplaced. Patience again. I mean, it's scrappy fights and Cure is just about hanging in there, but for how much longer? Our medevacs are out of energy. The bio units are hurting. The Liberator count's at 4. The bases are mining out. There's no new bases to take. I mean, he's going to fly the main base orbital to the 5th base on the top side, which is not a bad idea, right? But to show you how much control Patience got of this game, this Stargate is still powered by a pylon here. In what world does a proxy Stargate that was seen at like, you know, it wasn't seen right away, but it was seen at like 8 minutes or so. In what world is that still powered with the same starting pylon? Cure just didn't really... I mean, that was kind of the beginning of Cure's problems as well, because that's where the warp pins came from, when Patience didn't even invest into a warp prison. So Cure, I mean, he can't. I mean, I'm not going to say that pylon's the root of all evil in this game, but it's definitely a stem. You know, it's definitely a branch you could have shut off early, snapped away, and made it that little bit more difficult for Patience to take map control, because if Patience couldn't have warped into that army and he had to build a prism, either two things happen. A, he doesn't have a warp, he either doesn't have warp-ins, right? So this army is that much weaker and he can't reinforce it. Or B, he has to build a warp prism, in which case the Colossus is going to be much slower, in which case you have a much better time as Kira as well. And so I feel like that pylon is definitely a big point to kind of bring up. Kira really should have gotten that a little bit earlier, really properly shut that down. As that's GG, and Patience will take game number 1 of this best of 5 of this Cure Patience series. So I'll work on a fix for that. Apologies that I just don't have it right away. Bottom right hand side, our red Protoss player here is Patience, taking on the blue Terran. And the top left hand side, Cure. Game 2 of our best of 5 here, as we get this set up, ready to go. See what's going to happen over the next couple of minutes at the start of this one. Really, honestly, a pretty awesome game number 1 between these two. Felt like that was quite a lot of fun. Some good back and forth, some good action. I kind of just like, it's just one of those fun games where there's a lot of scrappy fights. A lot of like, I'll take a punch here and I'll deal a punch there. The only thing I was really missing was maybe Cure being able to get more active on the map and being able to really maneuver around the map and maybe pick off some of those bases of Patience. I really feel if Cure gets like a drop across the map, or a couple of drops across the map, because you can't just go with one, because then the warp-in stops it. But if you drop one place and another, which was definitely possible because of how spread out Patience was getting, and his main army being in the middle of the map, if you can get those drops off, you can actually start really making Patience look back home. Problem is, you need to find the moment in which Patience isn't pushing in. Because if you're caught without 2 to 4 medevacs of units at home, and Patience takes a fight, then you probably just die then and there. But I do feel there was times where the Liberators kept Patience scared enough that those drops could have loaded up and gone across and maybe disrupted. I guess the other problem was, though, Patience was so good consistently sending Zealot run-bys around. And with those Zealot run-bys, you also keep a lot of the bio units at home, because you have to keep splitting off your bio units to go and kill the Zealots, otherwise you run into a lot of trouble as well. And as you do see the probe just moving around, patrolling around Command Center on the way up on the natural here, and this Nexus building up as well from Patience. Again, that's set to go as our factory starts up in the main base, and there's going to be the refinery from Cure also dropping down to get that rolling. It's going to be a proxy Stargate again here from Patience, and we'll see if Cure is once again unfortunate enough to not scout it like he was in the last game. Last game he got real close. Don't tell me he's going to do it again now. He's got to see it, right? Yeah. So he's going to see the Stargate. So this time Cure knows about that nice and quickly. And this should look very different as soon as the factory finishes. It should be... He might even go Tech Lab Cyclone into Starport, rather than just into a Widow Mine. There's a couple different ways. Cyclone Viking obviously is like a super hardcore, complete shutdown of the Protoss attempting to be aggressive, etc. So, with the Stargate. So maybe we'll see that. I think we will. Tech Lab on the factory. A couple of Marines start. This should be fine for Cure. It's still a little bit dangerous when the first Oracle shows up, because there's still only like 3 Marines. The 4th and 5th ones are building. But it's just a micro affair where you just micro back, you give it a moment or two, and then boom, you can kind of get going again, as we'll see. Reaper getting a couple shots off on a probe there. This Reaper from Cure going to hop up in toward the main base. Do you see the Stalker able to start dishing out some damage towards the command center, which obviously shouldn't really achieve much, but actually comes in with the Marines. This is not what I feel you don't want to do, because obviously now the Oracle can show up, and it's some weakened Marines. I guess the Cyclone is not far away, though. Just the timing of this works out fine for Cure, and he looks as though he'll be just fine, all said and done. Phoenix on the way out, and it's just going to be joining up. So obviously you see a Cyclone, the Phoenix does a lot to kind of help against that, because the Cyclone getting lifted cancels its lock on, and then what do you do? So if you still want to kind of push aggressively, it's a very good choice, I feel, as we do have obviously just a few SCVs transferring around. Viking moving around a little bit as well. Those couple of Stalkers moving around, and the Phoenix seeing what's up as well. Phoenix actually not doing badly here, right? I mean, picks off the Viking, which is alright. The thing is, you've already kind of made just a couple of Phoenix, so the Oracle threat is already gone a little bit. The Viking's still nice to get rid of, because if it comes across the map and lands in a mineral line, that can be a good few probes that go down. So it's not a bad thing to get rid of the Viking. It's also not end of the world territory for Cure, because he still has a Cyclone. He's got Marines. At this point, the Marine count is good to push back that army again and again. And that's going to be Command Center dropping down into the main. And this barrack's going to move away. A couple of extra barracks will start up. So it's going to be 3 racks in total. Going on to the tech labs here. Getting ready to go into that bio-based follow-up. So he's going to get Stimpack and Combat Shields out. Probably a third base behind it. Oh, sorry, he's already building a third base. That's just a stupid call by me. Just lapse of concentration. Twilight and a Forge on the way up as well in the natural expansion. So, I mean, obviously Patience investing in towards his next tech structures and his next tech, tech plays, which is probably going to be initially, might even just go straight to charge. It depends how comfortable he feels defending against drops. Because, okay, he's going to attack upgrade, so he'll go Blink. So, I feel like it makes sense. These 3 bases are kind of far apart when it comes to kind of defending from one side to the other. And so Blink will help a lot with shutting down those medevacs. Obviously, it's not a super fast Blink, so you're not going to get a lot of presence on the map with Blink Stalkers like you would if you'd opened Blink. Then Blink finishes 430. You're able to be on the map, pick off a couple of units. Instead, he has this Stargate setup, so the Phoenix and the Oracle are the map control here. And the most important thing for those guys is just to keep themselves alive and keep revelating these units. Keep an eye out for this push coming across the map and know what's going on. And so far, Patience has done exactly that. He's got them revelated, he sees the third CC, so he knows it's not some kind of aggressive 5 racks or 2 base all in. So Patience knows the choices being made by Cure because of this opener, and so far he's completely fine. And yeah, by the time Patience or Cure gets any sort of attack going, there's going to be Blink and +1, and there shouldn't be too much to really just kind of charge in and to take down Patience with. Dark Shrine, by the way, is actually on the way up as well, so already Patience invested into that. The DTs did a lot last game. There was a point where there's a DT on the army, and I just thought there wasn't a scan, right? But I looked at the orbitals, and there was multiple scans available, so it was just Cure being a little bit slow to respond to that. Can't blame Patience for going into the Dark Templar again when they were so successful in that first game. You absolutely have to just say, well, that looks like a weakness of Cure. Gotta try that out again. And obviously, maybe Cure just had one of those moments where the DTs arrive at the wrong time. You're doing something else, suddenly like, wait, what? Or you don't notice it and stuff. Maybe this game he gets the missile turrets up, he shuts them down, scans perfectly, and they do nothing at all. But DTs are never like a terrible investment as long as you have enough to survive at home as well. That's going to be the real question here is, oh my god, the 2 health Oracle just surviving. This time he's actually going to shut down the Stargate and the pylon as well, which is obviously nice. We talked about the power of what that pylon allowed Patience to do in the last game. Probably why he's already got a different pylon set up to the top side, because he knows the power that gives him, as DTs already making their way around. No orbital on the third base as the DT chasing this army. Now there isn't scans available, so now this army does have to be careful, and it looks as though Cure's just going to take the chance to turn back around and go home, because there's no way you're going to attack in and be successful if you don't have the scans to get rid of the DTs, which just can put out consistent damage onto your army for free. I mean, this DT is going absolutely huge. Just up to 5 kills. SCVs have had to pull back. I mean, this is the issue. You just don't have a missile turret in the third base. These depots out the front, missile turret not in range, and there's just not enough scans available to deal with that right away. This DT gets caught, but it moves out, and it's going to be able to force another scan at the very least, which is obviously really nice as well. Unless he walks into the missile turret, Patience is obviously looking elsewhere, and he does walk into the missile turret, so a moment of respite for Cure as he is able to breathe and not have stuff attacking his mineral lines. He does clean this up for the moment. This Protoss army going to go retreat away. So Cure is still kind of looking potentially for a fight. You gotta remember, yes, the DCs have been cleaned up and they did good damage, but that economic damage doesn't affect Cure's army for a little while here. So Cure could still maybe push in and say, well, you invest into DTs that I've killed, your army is that little bit weaker than usual. Full energy sentries, though, will be looking for force fields. Cure probably feels desperate because Zealots are just annihilating his main base, and he's doing nothing about it. There's already a DT on top of this army. There's the force fields we're talking about. More force fields as well. I'm not sure if we really need these ones. I mean, it stops these units backing away. They could have been lifted up anyways, though, like they were. I'm not convinced about that, as now our reinforcements for Cure seem to be doing alright. Patience, can he clean this up? There's still that low ground tank. There's still Widow Mines here. This push from Cure is still a little bit scary, and he's still up an upgrade as well. He's got an armor upgrade his opponent doesn't have. So he still has that on his side too, as we're going to be seeing the Zealots starting to go down. A couple of Widow Mines going off. So Zealots getting picked off all over the place here as our Bio's still pushing forwards. Mortals firing, picking up another couple of Marauders. 2 more Liberators on the way out, 2 more Widow Mines coming into play. And here we go with the Zealots moving down this ramp. The Bio's going to make another turnaround. And those Zealots are going to get chased. So Zealots being chased as we do have the DT coming into this as well. Stalkers will blink in. And the first medevac already being picked off here. And we do have 2 more Disruptors on the way out. And here's going to ask for please pause. And we'll have a moment before this game resumes in a bit of a crazy scenario. By the way, I just want to let you guys an update on TY Tasia, as Go-Go-Yo is called. TY is looking good against Tasia, but it's been a 16-minute epic back-and-forth first game. At the very least, guys, I'm going to cast those replays, if not on stream, definitely for YouTube. So, if you're looking for Tasia and TY, I'm sorry that they're currently off stream. But, like I said, just a slight tech issue. Couldn't bring them onto stream in the break or anything. So just wanted to give you an update while we had a pause. This game resumes, and Kira's going to go diving into the main base. Still 3 bases from Kira as we see Patience going up to a 5th Nexus. I feel that's really unnecessary. You know, that's just sort of saying, you know, like, he just has no respect for Kira almost. He's like, you're never going to kill me. So much so I'm going to take 2 bases over what you have. The lone Zealot is dancing in the mineral line. Dancing in the mineral line. Having some fun there, circling around. Not sure what it's actually really having a party, isn't it? He's like, I'm going to check out this bit. What's it rallied to? I actually have no idea what the Zealot's doing. I actually have no clue. I've never seen that before. Oh. It's gone towards the natural. Okay, it's going to go down. This is nice. Q's going to kill the 4th base here. There's nothing up there to defend. Oh, but the Disruptor shot is big on this bottom side. It picks off pretty much everything. So now you can actually recall over here. Ah! This went so wrong for Q, because if that Disruptor shot doesn't land, that main army can keep this other army busy, and you can't just recall. But the recall keeps the base alive when otherwise it should have really fallen. In the end, you get a few probes, sure, but this should have been the base kill. And that's just a shame from Q, letting that Disruptor shot land. Patience finds again just a moment or so where he's able to grab a win. Disruptor shot flies forward. We're going to see a couple of Marauders picked off. DT pressing in. Widow Mine lining itself up. And this medevac army going to load up and get going too, as our Phoenix Zealot DT moving its way around the top side once again. So Army of Patience back down the bottom right. Q is going to try and drop as his response to this. Obviously recalls and cooldowns, so he can really abuse the Protoss at the moment by kind of jumping around everywhere if possible. You can't just recall to defend this main base, so it's a nice drop that Patience doesn't see coming. Patience really, if anything, is, I mean, he doesn't really lack map control. I guess he's only just setting this map control up down here now. This main base Nexus is probably going to go down. He decides to fight the Zealots instead and move away, just so he's ready to kind of move out with the medevacs, but then he continues to trade. Disruptor shot he'll split against, but the chunk of units does go down. Loses the medevac he loads up into. And Patience is going to clean up everything bar 1 empty medevac, and even that leaves on low HP. Just going to be seeing the Army of Q still gathering out the 3rd base. As we do have this Army of Patience coming up towards the top side. I mean, again, 5th base survived. He's now going into base number 6. He's about to be on double the bases of his opponent, as Kyo is going to relocate the main to the 4th. So even then, it's obviously still only 3 bases from Kyo. He's not mining these gases here, so he's leaving, you know, 1,300 gas behind and 500, 600 minerals, just to get that base on the bottom left side up a little bit faster. He needs it. He needs to keep mining this game any way he can, as the Stalker Colossus army is going to be coming across, and a couple of Disruptors already cleaned out some Widow Mines. Pure, again, it's the difference compared to the first game, where he's got drops on the map, and because of that, Patience can't just sit at the front and keep poking and prodding until he finds an opening, until he finds a good Disruptor shot. He has to come back and deal with these attacks. Now, the 6th base here going down is not, you know, obviously far from a disaster when you're already working on 2 bases more than your opponent. But obviously, it's still something that you have to deal with, because if you don't come to deal with this army goes into the natural, you kill the Robos, you kill the Nexus, you have to pull back home. So that really is one of the big differences we're seeing here from Pure compared to game number 1. He's got his foot, you know, he's got his kind of feet kind of steady on the ground. He's sturdied himself, and he's able to put himself in a position where he's moving towards, where he's he's moving towards a position where he's able to make this happen almost. And he's kind of, able to turn this around a little bit. He's able to keep the aggression up, etc. As we do see Patience pressing forward. A disruptor shot will land for the Marines and the Marauder. That's a shot well done, as Patience still moving over here. He's going to load up a few more medevacs again and going to go boost those in towards the main base. So they're going to go boost towards the main. As you do see, again, this is just undefended. This time there'll be a recall available. Oh, sorry, recall's being used. I actually don't know why you used recall. Oh, well, that's actually going to get interesting. It's going to be a little bit of a base trade. Is this third base taking a lot of damage? Colossus pressing forwards, Mortal Sentries pressing it as well. That third base will lift. The Bio Army picking away at Pylon's gateways. Colossus still firing as well. I mean, that third base goes down. I mean, all the production of Patience is being shut down here as well. It's absolutely the right moves from Cure. What's over here? A couple of Disruptors and Stalkers. That's dangerous. Disruptors are great in this low eco scenario because obviously they trade very well over time. This bottom side base went down as well, so actually only on one orbital currently landed for Cure. So even DT's become good again now, but I think the Dark Shrine did go down. This Bio Army's fighting. It's actually killing Disruptors off over here. The thing is, Disruptors and Stalkers don't do well if the Disruptors don't clean up the Bio Army. Okay, there's going to be enough here in the end. Does Cure have a way to shut down this? I don't think he does. GG. Patience is going to take game of Patience versus Cure in the bottom left-hand side. Up 2-0. And maybe about to perform a bit of an upset here. I feel like everyone would pick. I feel like Cure's been quite popular and doing well, especially on line events and qualifiers. This would be a bit of an upset. Do you have the bottom left-hand side, our Red Prowlers player Patience. Going up against that blue Terran Cure in the upper right-hand side. So we get this set up, ready to go. It's going to be a proxy again here from Patience. He just does not let these proxies go. So for the third game in a row, is he really going to proxy Stargate again? I mean, obviously it's been working, but I don't want to say it's been like the proxy Stargate putting him in amazing positions. Very interesting. As we set this up. People moving around. So we're just going to set out the front. There is the Stargate starting to build in the upper left. Patience builds a second proxy in the top left-hand side. I'm intrigued what that's going to be for. That's almost like he wants to hide something further on in this game. Like what? I don't know, but I'm definitely interested to find out, as our Oracle will start a Chrono Boost out. We're heading toward the main base here in the next couple of moments. And this Adept just starting to move forwards as well. So Adept coming up in towards the natural, up toward the main. We do have the factory just hanging out. Tech Lab on it, Reactor on the barracks, and this Adept trying to get some damage on the SCV. He's going to raise the depot there as the Hellion Marines going forwards, and the Adept is going to go down. Okay, guess the Adept, but the Oracle shows up. So Cure's going to lose the Marines this time. There's a Cyclone already on the way in terms of what Cure's been doing. He didn't scout the proxy, but he has gone for a proxy starport of his own, so he's going to go into Cloak Banshees. He's taking a lot of damage now, but the Cloak Banshees are very liable to do a lot of damage because there is absolutely zero detection on the map outside of the Oracle. And it's only one Oracle that's low energy, low health. So it's, I mean, the problem with Banshees is if you have an Oracle as the way to detect the Cloak Banshees, you drop the first Revelation, Banshee 2 shows up, you gotta have another Revelation. So Patience is trying to rush DTs, which might get something done, but this Banshee's almost guaranteed to kill off pretty much every probe that Patience has. So this is going to become almost a base trade of workers here over the next little while. And again, Phoenix on the way up now, that's not going to help because it's about detecting that Banshee and actually being able to see it in the first place. What will the DTs be able to do? Cloak against Cloak when it comes down to these units here. This Hellion going all the way out over to the left-hand side. Dark Shrine dropping down into the gateway, building up, and Blink will start on that Twilight Council as well. Phoenix and the Oracle out over to the right. You see the Hellion into the mineral line, going to get some probes. Even if you soften up these probes, you make it a faster kill for the Banshee, right? So the Banshee's going to be able to get more probes even faster, which is obviously brilliant. First ETs will be moving forward soon. So here comes that Banshee, cloaks up already. First ETs have to warp in, and they have to warp in very long because obviously no gateway connected to this. Oh, he's got a shield battery in the main! Oh, the shield battery in the main is interesting, but it will die still to the Banshee here. Robo starts to build, so Patience is going to move his way towards detection. The DT's moving to the natural here. How are we for detection from Cure? He's got a scan available, but only one. And there's a DT in his natural and in his main base. The natural DT goes down, but the one in the main will continue. Now this Banshee is killing probes. It's up to 6, 7, 8 kills now and continuing. Banshee number 2 goes into the natural expansion. No shield battery available, so probes continue to drop down dead as this DT comes back down to the natural. It's a fight to get damage done before the scan comes down. This Banshee survives long enough that its cloak wears off, and that's going to be 13 kills. Couldn't ask for more, as this Banshee could have done a bit more just because the probes pulled away and it didn't respond in time. Really nicely done. Now this Oracle actually does have energy though, so he's going to pull back. There is a Raven now building. Man, another Cloak Banshee. In this scenario would have been amazing. Overall, the Raven obviously I think works quite well as third CC coming up, so Patience actually going to be moving into third next, but the fast third CC of Cure here as well should mean that he's actually able to just rebuild fairly convincingly. He does kill his DT, right? Yeah, that's nice, because if you lose that, that's very frustrating. And now he's going to get a turret up in the main base, which means he should be able to get the main base under control. And this should kind of be it for this aggression. There shouldn't really be much more you can achieve here as Patience. Because now, you know, the turrets are up, etc. So the damage is kind of done. And across the board, they both come out with 41 workers each. 17 SCVs went down, while 21 probes went down. But I do like it for Cure, because equal workers means he's got triple mule on his side, which should mean he's got the economy advantage. He's basically, I mean, he's ready to move down to the third base as well. He's got a Raven up, so he can really deal with DTs without any more troubles now, especially out on the map, which means he can push against DTs without needing scans. That's amazing, because it means he doesn't have to save up energy, and he can drop those mules. And yeah, he's ready to take the third base, and he's going to start mining really not that long after the third base of the Protoss player, which, you know, and again, in PvT, typically the Protoss gets that third base up so much faster than the Terran. That's not going to be the case here. We're going to be seeing the engineering base finishing up, and Marines, Cyclones pushing out towards the third, as we do have a DT caught at the front again. Nice to have the Raven for that exact reason. Just even walking past DTs, you find one there, free pickoff. It was really nice that he was able to get that out, especially on this side of the map when the starport's proxied. Another Banshee is about to finish up. There is observers around now, but the army of Patience is actually up on the other side, so you might get a good few probes here while defending at home. Let's see, a gateway coming up here as well, so you're actually going to have instant reinforcements into the third base of your opponent. This game's getting a little bit scary for Cure, maybe, with those reinforcements able to come down. Pressing forward, he drops an auditor, that'll go down. More Stalkers warping in, they do have that blink to utilize. This Banshee shows up, does it get many kills? He gets 3 before Patience pulls away and responds. Not a lot of cloak energy, but going into the natural, well, there's a shield battery there, so it shouldn't do much either. At the same time, though, Patience can't break this front area, and Patience currently going into charge. No +1 upgrades, right? No Forge down in the game. It feels like Patience wants to win this game like here and now, rather than letting this continue on for very long. Engineering Bay is not actually upgrading just yet either, though, so no +1 from the Terran player. It's just a weird game where they're trying to just get units to either attack or defend. Some Zealots go into this mineral line while the Stalkers push towards the natural. The Stalkers do get turned around for the moment. You do see the army coming around. Stalker's going to go after a few Marines. Marauder taking some hits. Cyclone as well. SCVs are going to go repair the supply depot. Temple Archives on the way up as the Banshee goes into the main, and again, these couple of workers on gas, depending on where they are, actually do not get healed by the shield battery, so it just depends when the Banshee shoots and if it shoots at the right time. But that's not important. What is important is this fight continuing. More Zealots warping in, and the Stalkers maybe starting to get a bit of momentum going here. I mean, there's no medevacs up, so remember that these Marines and Marauders aren't really getting healed. They do have stim and combat shields, though, so I don't think there's any way you actually really break this down is Patience. I think Cure holds, Worker lead, Army lead. I mean, obviously, Bio against Gateway units looks pretty good for the Bio side of things, as this Banshee comes in well, this is another Banshee. The fact he's just still making Banshees up this star pool just kind of shows you how effective, or how much use he's getting out of them. Just consistent harassment across the map. Just going to have the Stalkers. Going to try and jump over these depots perhaps, or just at least take the depots down again. Bio going to come forwards again. The Stalkers moving around in the center. Again, Marine Marauder moving around at the moment. Cyclone on the right-hand side. Stalker's going to get caught quite quickly there, so a lot of Stalkers going down. Probe on the Watchtower gets picked off as well. Hey, the Stalker's actually in a lot of trouble, so they're going to keep on dropping. Storm's still on the way up. That's about to finish up, actually, as we do see this Banshee now going down. But Kyo's got the push going, right? 50 supply lead. He's cleaned up a lot of the units, and he should just have the momentum and the numbers to push straight on through to go up into that third base and to maybe just clean this out. So here we go. Interference Matrix on the Warp Prism means the High Templar with Storms on them are actually stuck in the Warp Prism. And this third base probably goes down here. Those two High Templar don't have the Storm energy yet, so they're still trying to build up for it. Now the High Templars can drop from the Prism. The Storms drop down, but Kyo just dodges them. 2 more Storms available. It's a good one on the Bio there. And as Kyo reinforcements show up, it might not matter anyways, because he might just have enough to put an end to this. Pre-splitting a little bit. We'll target down the High Templar, forces the Storm. It morphs into the Archon. But again, the idea is you've already forced the Storm out, so kind of weathered, no pun intended, the initial start of that. This Kyo is able to take game number 3, and he's fighting back here. We jump on in. And Patience in the top right-hand side is our red Protoss player. Didn't look like the favorite in game 1, but was able to turn it around. In game 2, definitely looked like he just had control of the game. In game 3, it got a bit crazy, but I feel like Kua had it under control all along that one. In the bottom left up blue turn. It's just so annoying because he could keep making Banshees. He had the Raven out to do a future DTs. Altogether, I think a pretty decent job as Patience and Kua setting up here for game number 4. We've seen that gateway continue to build up at the moment. Assimilator building as well. And we just see the probes continuing to come on up. So getting this set up, ready to roll. Obviously looking for early expansions in World, or here on World of Sleepers at the moment. How's everyone doing in the chat, by the way? Just take a quick moment to say hello to you all. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you so much, Angry SC2, for that 4-month resub. Much appreciated. Hope you're doing well. If you are enjoying the stream, guys, do hit that follow button. I cast StarCraft 2 here on the channel pretty much every single day, especially in December. We've got StarCraft lined up all month long. If you're really enjoying the stream, do consider subscribing. If you've got that Twitch Prime sitting around, you've not used it on anybody just yet, it goes a huge way to helping out the stream, helping me put out more StarCraft content for everybody. So do consider subscribing. If you donate, you can cheer as well to support, but all of it helps. And yeah, thank you so much for joining us today for the WESG qualifiers. So we've got probably about 2 best of 5s after this. So we've got this series, then 2 more best of 5s, and I think we will play all of it today, I believe. I don't think we're going to extend any of it to tomorrow, which is a possibility, I guess, if some of the... They've scheduled it for 2 days, but I think it'll just get finished up in 1 day, basically. So we do see a Stargate dropping down here from Patience in the center. And this probe of Patience is going to start heading down to the lower left-hand side. Reaper is patrolling at the front as well. And that Reaper is going to be able to pick away at this probe over the next couple of moments. So probe already taking quite a lot of damage. Probe will go down. Command centers continue to build up as our Stargate just over halfway done. Really is about to finish here in the next few moments, of course. So, well, every game, Proxy and a Stargate, just Patience loves this. I mean, Kyo can't even be surprised about it at this point, right? The thing is, the Proxy and a Stargate is such a non-committal almost, because you're like, okay, I'm going to put a Stargate down. It doesn't have to do like masses of damage to be alright, because again, typically in TvP especially, you don't really need the Stargate later in the game until much later on. Where adding an extra Stargate's kind of like, well, you know, yeah, it cost me a little bit that I wouldn't have usually had to spend, but at that point it's negligible in terms of overall cost. So Patience just keeps going for it, and Well, we'll see the Cyclone on the way up here from Q and a very fast 3cc. So this is a bit of a different setup from Q to what we've seen before. This time he's going to go no starport, which means he's not going to have access to a Viking, and he's also not going to have access to an aggressive medevac. And also, Patience goes different. He goes, well, I guess not different. He's done this before, right? Oracle into a Phoenix, but he's actually going to go second Oracle now, too. He's actually been... That's been a bit interesting, because he did kill off that Reaper, so the Oracle... let's see what happens, actually. We're going to see this coming down. The Oracle did kill the Reaper, so he's revealed the Oracle already. I mean, it's been kind of long in the game, right? So it's not the end of the world there. As, by the way, quick update, Tasia at 1-1 against TY. Yeah, a couple of Oracles, Phoenix, a couple of Adepts as well. He really wants to try and break some, get some damage done here. But the double Cyclone from Cure is because he doesn't have a starport, and that's going to help him a lot in this scenario. Now, even if one of these Cyclones gets lifted up, the other one is still going to be firing away. So there's a couple of Adepts moving up. As Fly Depots will raise. And lower again. A Phoenix Oracle combo gathering at the front here. A couple extra barracks dropping down from Kira's factory. Moving over was on a bit of a journey there. But yeah, again, the racks, the bio upgrades will start nice and quickly here. Again, no starport, 3cc. It's a great setup here from Kira, as long as, he hasn't taken any damage at all, so it does look good. And these Phoenix are building. Now, Phoenix are pretty good at harassing, but one of the main things that Phoenix are great at is defending aggression. But there is no aggression coming his way because Kira's playing 3cc. So Kira's very happy to just sit back and say, cool, you build your Phoenix. And yeah, you might kill some SCVs at some point and find some value, but they're not really kind of denying Kira from being aggressive because Kira's already, set up in that sort of way where he's kind of be alright anyway. As this Phoenix gets picked off, and Patience will move back out into the center of the map. Oracle continues to Chrono Boost here. Forge about to complete. Twilight Council will be done in a moment as well. And you do just see the Stimpack on the way up on that barracks as well. A couple of engineering bays getting going. Factory going to move to a reactor starport. Will land on one as well. And again, just a lot of build up here as this orbital command moving from the main base down through the natural toward the third. Blink +1, all of this on the way, and just going to be seeing a couple of Adepts and Sentries moving forwards. 2 more Sentries from Patience coming in as well. And Phoenix able to jump on towards that orbital command, so able to deal some of the damage here, and looks as though, it's obviously not going to be anything too serious, right? We really are just getting into nice little TvP here. Akira, he's going to have all of his upgrades lining up quite nicely to start being a bit aggressive on the map, looking for opportunities. Stuff like this, though, where he's losing bio units for nothing, isn't going to help him out, because that's only going to weaken his attack, which obviously does have some potential to do alright. And that's the Proxy Gateway. That's a great find for Kira, because that means he can just shut this down immediately. Now, the last thing you want is for fast warp missiles to come in across the map without your opponent having to invest into a warp system. So, especially with the style that Patience is playing, he's playing a lot of gates, blink, no robo facility. It's very aggressive looking to win the game on these gate units. He only built a robo last game to build observers to help against the Banshees. Firm believer that he wouldn't have built a robo otherwise, because it's exactly what he's doing this game again, where he's just making a lot of units and looking to win with an aggressive push forwards. That's where the Phoenix killing a few Marines early definitely helps as well, right? Anything you can do to offset the army supply in your favor. As you do see this army setting up. Shield battery set up in the center as well, so Patience is really serious about making this work, but they're all going to go down. That's a lot of minerals that just cost him. He cancels the warp in. Oh my god, this is a disaster for Patience. Kira jumping on that opportunity. Stalker going down, Phoenix picked off. I'm just going to be seeing the bio army from Kira here pulling back again. Bio back out into the center. Let's see what's going on. Stalker firing, and a little bit of Bio still trying to trade out with this charge on the way up. But what a pick off by Kyo, shutting down all those shield batteries, picking off a pylon, etc. Stalker goes down. Medevac gets shut down as well. And we do see the Stargate going to get picked off. Could have maybe just kind of killed that pylon, cancelled the warp in here. In general, Kyo's looking great to take this to game number 5. looking absolutely fantastic to take this to game number 5 realistically, right? He's looking awesome at the moment. So we're going to see this bio force pushing forwards. Going to be able to grab the sentry, so that will go down as Stalker's dancing around on the upper right side. Here we go, bio pushing across and getting ready to push into this. You do see a couple of Stalkers already dropping. Sentries in some trouble as well. Widowmines will burrow. As those Widowmines burrow up, they're going to start firing and picking off a couple of the Zealots, etc. There's just no way you fight this, right? This is all in for a reason. It's pure gateway units, and once you hit that critical mass, we get ready to jump into this in a couple of moments' time. I've just been able to fix up the issue on the other PC, I think, so we should, from here on out, be able to get you guys some of the Tasia TY action. Fingers crossed. So we should be able to do that. Tasia just took a 2-1 lead over TY. But for now, let's focus up on this TvP because we have got Game 5. This is it. One player's WESG run ends here. This is the last chance to qualify from the Korean Open qualifiers. We do have our red Protoss top left. It is Patience. And the bottom right, our blue Terran player is Cure. Wardy, will subscribers get replays from the tournament? Yes. This tournament has not put any restrictions on handing out replays, as far as I'm aware. So, yeah, I'm, as far as it stands right now, it's currently available to send out. So I will be sending out these replays you see today, as well as the replays I collect on my second monitor as well. I'll be able to send all of those out to you guys on the subscriber Discord. So if you're not a subscriber and you want those replays, I would say get subscribed. As you do see, the Reaper hanging around on the right side, and Oracle on the way up here from Patience. Again, this ready to go as our Stalker pressing forwards. A little bit of pressure here early on. There's our Stargate, not even proxied as much anymore, but hitting away over the left-hand side as the Reaper moves up in toward the main. So Reaper moving around. Viking on the way up on the starboard here in the factory. Has a tech lab on it. A couple of Marines coming out of the barracks as we get this ready to go. Oracle coming across and seeing what's going on. As Patience will, for the first time, get some aggression going here. So you see Oracle just drops a Revelation even and then backs away. Hellion out around the top side. The Marines are all kind of gathered up in this mineral line, so looking good. I mean, Revelation's good to just keep track of those for the moment. And as you do see the second Oracle coming across, Hellion's going in and is going to find no defense here at all, so that's already 2 probes. For one, Hellion's amazing, right? Because you're going to get 3 and probably 4 before Stalker kills it off, or a scout into the main base, which is great as well. He's just going to see extra gateways dropping down. Patience not really doing much to change up what he's kind of been going for here just yet. We're going to see that Hellion does get picked off now. So that Hellion goes down. These couple Stalkers are going to go down to the bottom right as the couple Oracles moving around. 2 more Stalkers on the way up. We do have the Viking here able to pick away at a couple of probes. So only a couple though. As we do have now the Stalkers continuing to roll. Patience trying to get aggressive with these Stalkers. There's not too much will happen in the natural. Oracle's going to move around down to the bottom. Triple Oracle here to try and one-shot some workers. Let's see what's going to happen as we do have the Oracle's just going to be able to pick up a couple of SCVs here, so some damage being done. Viking able to get some shots off, and the Oracle pushed away down the bottom side. Forge and Twilight Council building at home. So Patience, it's a similar setup to before, but I don't want to say he's going to do the exact same thing yet, because I kind of want to believe he's going to change it up a little bit. Because it would be kind of a shame if he just kept doing the same thing that he's lost with in the last couple of games, you know? It really would be. Hey, thank you so much, Finn591, for the 7-month resub. And also Snackums SC, thank you so much for the fresh news sub. Getting in for some of those juicy replays, huh? I don't blame you. They're going to be great. Obviously, you get all of these games, the games we cast after this, and the rest of the replays we cast all month. We already had a tournament between Tasia, Solar, Zest, and Dream the other day, so you'll get those replays too. They're coming probably tonight when I get a bit of free time to actually put together the replay pack. So, loads of great replays if you're a subscriber, guys. Probably one of the best replay packs in StarCraft alongside the Lima League. And, yeah, I don't know who else to put up there, really. Army here from Patience, gathering up. I mean, he's looking to go for it, right? Still again, +1 star. I mean, he's got not a blink or anything yet, but he's still set up. I mean, but you can't break this. I'm just trying to think it through in my head, but you can't break this. There's a siege tank here. I just don't think it's really possible. I just don't think it's really possible at all. Blink is still Chronobus on the Twilight Council. Forge building the +1 attack. And we do have the Oracle is moving around itself. These three just trying to see where they can go. I like this Stasis Ward aggressively at the front. Hey, Kyo's actually moving forwards. I feel this is real brave considering what, you know, Patience has been doing and what he seems to be doing again right now. It's a nice little Stasis there. Does catch a few Marines. Another one built up, right? It's going to probably force a scan. Okay. Patience is going to play differently. He's starting the robo facility. He's continuing to probe up the third base. I like it. I think, honestly, the first couple of games where he played more macro focus went great for him. Then he tried to end games 3 and 4 in a similar sort of rate. Well, game 3, I guess, was a bit weird, right? But he went for a similar start in game 3 to what he did in game 4. Obviously, game 3 was kind of more all-in anyways because of the damage taken, damage done with the DTs, etc. But he is going to change this one up, and he will start to tech into at least Immortals here. Obviously, eventually, we're maybe looking for that Robo Bay and the switch up towards Colossus. So we'll keep our eyes out for that as this Marine just watches the army come forwards. And Kira gets to the third CC with not really too many issues. Yeah, it looked a little while to push over there, but he got there. And now Kira, for the first time in a long time, feels like he's not under any pressure. He's able to actually take control of the game himself a little bit in the form of these drops. So here we go. First two medevacts out up the right-hand side, and there is no vision at all for Patience on this right side or top side of the map until these drops will either arrive in the third or go straight to the main. And that's what's so great here as well. If you go into the third or the main, whichever one you get there's a response to, you can lift up and go to the other straight away afterwards. So it's going to be really, really tough to get around. Let me move this back. Hey, what's up? Space is fun. Thank you so much for the Twitch Prime sub as well. Much appreciated. Thanks for supporting the channel. Alright, this army from Patience back around into the center here. Bioforce still pressing up into the center. So Bio pushing into the middle here at the moment. Two Disruptors on the way out from Patience, as he will see the Stalkers coming in to try and do a little bit of damage. One Stalker gets picked off, and Bio army continuing up. Patience just has what feels like so little. I mean, he's getting Disruptors, but those Disruptors have to connect here. Otherwise, he's in trouble. They're not even ready yet. Force field's coming down. It looks like Q's going to keep fighting the army. Widowmine's on the hallucinations. That's a nice hallucination play from Patience. But the Oracles now go down. Disruptor shot from the left side. Gets a Cyclone. I mean, in fairness, numbers definitely are dropping. He's going to kill one Disruptor here. Lift up for the second one so it doesn't kill anything. And then he can dive in on that one too. More Stalkers warping in, but at this point you just, as Q, go into the main base as well, right? If you want to. And the Stalker's going to blink onto you anyways. He's going to try and get the medevacs away. Boosting those away, but he actually doesn't take them all the way. I think he's trying to wait around for some extra units to show up. That Widowmine shot was not blink dodged, and neither is that one. Now some bio units showing up as well. The tank obviously helped out a little bit. Stalkers will blink in, so the bio units will turn around. And Patience just can't fight here. He's got no armor upgrades to these Marauders. I mean, they already do great against Stalkers, and now they're doing even better. Absolutely crazy is this army going to go up between the natural and the third base. A fourth dropping down from Patience. He tries to expand amidst all this pressure, but it's not feeling too great for Patience right now, as Q is going to get a push to that fourth, and from 0-2 down, Q is looking to completely turn this series on its head and take it down for himself. 3 more barracks on the way in from Q as we do see our Bioforce pressing forwards. There's going to be a Nexus that'll drop in a moment or two. Some Stalkers getting hit there. A couple Pylons in trouble as well. Bioforce going to have to keep backing away here, though. Another Widowmine or two setting up. We haven't observed in that bottom right side. That Widowmine is going to blow up a Stalker. No, it's going to go for the Disruptors. I mean, it only weakens them, doesn't get a kill. Kind of crazy if a Widowmine could insta-kill a Disruptor. See how the Disruptors like being blown up out of nowhere. 2-2 upgrades about to finish as well, and that's crazy, right? You're about to be on 2-2 upgrades against +2/+1. It's still just that upgrade. Well, not even +2/+1 against 1-1 for a while. +2s are way off. So that upgrade lead's great. It means you can really shred Zealots. And it's just, you're just going to get so much done here as Q. I don't see what Patience does to win these fights, as a little bit of bio pushes forwards. These Zealots are going to chase on in. The Zealots still taking quite a bit of damage. Observer just out overhead here, just out of range of this scan. Now, the harassing attempts of Patience are not really being too fruitful at the moment. Just kind of being stopped dead in their tracks. This Oracle kind of makes its way down here, but there's already a missile turret, so especially after the DTs in the previous games, it makes sense to be kind of ahead on the time with the missile turrets, etc., with the detection already set to go. Couple of disruptor shots coming down, the bio will chase. These disruptors are going to be killed, and obviously there's that big bio army on the right side as well, so you've got to be real careful as Patience where you send your army, because this army's ready to strike. That army's just literally sat there waiting to go. So you do see this little bio force from Cure out to the left-hand side. Patience back around to the top. Yeah, Cure's playing slow. He's getting a 5th base up, and I think he knows he's still kind of controlling the game. He's keeping Patience on a set of units which don't transition well later into the game, right? Because, yeah, disruptors do okay, but disruptors are generally added in late game because they support everything else. They push bio units back so you can clean up the liberators, etc. You know, and then you've got Colossus dealing damage throughout. You're not meant to be relying on disruptors as your only form of splash damage here. Especially when you're already a bit behind, it feels like a weaker composition to play with, so it feels real tough as we do have Stalkers over here getting blown up, so a couple of those go down. Widowmine's being cleaned out. On the right side, these Marines and Marauders trying to fight a Stalker or two, blinking in. Actually loses some Stalkers there. Another little fight that doesn't go well for Patience, as now these Medivacs are going to drop this base. This army's on its way back over. Could kill the Pylon and probably cancel a bunch of these Zealots, or you could just kill the Zealots again. +2 attack against no +2 armor. It's kind of a big deal. If Marauders do go down, the disruptor shot is decent in fairness. As this Medivac drop into the main base, well, it will get into the main base. It costs him a Medivac to get in there. So we'll be seeing the probes going down, and a couple of Zealots being picked away at as well. Wouldn't mind going off. Disruptor shot. Again, we'll connect actually. There's no point lifting up into the Medivac because obviously the Stalkers are there. They will just clean this up. Cure's lost a lot in the last little while. You might be thinking, well, you know, Patience catching up in supply, etc. But look at that bank of Cure. And he's on 3-3 upgrades against 2-1. That's crazy. Like, the upgrade difference is actually just huge. I mean, that's 2-1 upgrades he's ahead in. Liberator range coming up. 4 more Liberators on the way out. Marauders on the way. Widowmine's building. Obviously, with Advanced Ballistics coming in general, Liberators are going to become very powerful here. And these Zealots, you think they're dying fast now? They're going to die even faster when that +3 attack finishes, and that's really not far from being ready to go. These Marines are even fighting well against this Stalker or two. It's actually just insane. Upgrades are just... I mean, people don't really say upgrades aren't good in StarCraft, but like, sometimes it's really hard to... Because you usually see upgrades staying close together, it's hard to really imagine what upgrades do, but you can just see there, the 2-1 advantage is absolutely huge. Like, it's so crazy what those upgrades change. Compared to when you see, like, even upgrade Zealots just kind of never dying. Actually just crazy as we're going to be seeing those Medivacs lifting up and going in towards the natural. Planetary Fortress is going to pick off the Stalker here, and we're going to be seeing the Bioforce of Cure going to make its way across to try and make its way in towards this 4th base now. So, no, Stalker's actually going to be able to blink in and the Medivacs go down. Cure a little bit haphazardly pushing in with those ahead of the rest of the army, so the Bio wasn't able to protect it. Liberator range is about to complete, and now 4 Liberators in production at a time. They're going to really change the pacing of this game because, again, there's not really a lot to deal with, especially ranged Liberators. You're really relying on Stalkers, but at least, hey, you know, Colossus up, and Patience is somewhat stabilized. Maybe, again, Cure just a little bit too haphazardly attacking in here, a little bit too careless. You could have just done with a little bit more finesse, I suppose, on some of these drops, etc., when he had his lead and was looking for maybe a larger fight. Or maybe just try for a larger fight, because he didn't try for a larger fight at any point, right? All he ever really did was drop here and drop there. Maybe if you'd gone for a larger fight, maybe you could make something happen. It's tough because of the bridges on the map. It's very hard to push across at times. This Liberator is just going to straight up siege up here, and they're going to lose one of them as a couple of Stalkers go down forward at least. This TT runs past in the army. Disruptor shots! Was heading straight dead center, and Cure wasn't responding. This time he is at least pulling back, only loses a Marauder. A couple of hallucinated Colossus here, so they're going to try and fake stuff out a little bit. Looks like Cure doesn't want to commit to the fight though. Backing away. This is a real epic series. This is like our 3rd game that's going to go towards 20 minutes or more. This really turned into Awesome TvP, who, I mean, some great matches in general going on in this qualifier. It's great to see as the Hallucinate Colossus, well, they find a Widow Mine. Hey, at least they, they had something of a role to play. This Widow Mine's going to go off on the Zealot as well. It will get cleaned out. Shadow Stride on the way up, so Patience getting the DT Blink, getting ready to go. Is a Disruptor picked off? Liberator is firing, but you can't chase with the Bio units because the Disruptor pushes those Bio units away, opens the path for the Stalkers to get a Liberator or two before blinking out. And now 9 DTs just walked in. I can bet you they're not for Archons. They are for some major harassment, as we do see the Dark Templar starting to make their way down to the bottom right side of the map. Update on the other bracket side of the bracket, by the way. Tasia TY, 2-2, going to game 5. A few more Liberators sieging out over on the right-hand side here. A Stalker Immortal army pressing forwards, and again, those Liberators sieging for the moment. Still a lot of DTs here, but they're not actually fighting. They could have killed this missile turret already. It's just a straight up mistake. I mean, they will kill the missile. Well, actually, they're just going to kill the Planetary. Why kill the missile turret if the Planetary can go down so quickly anyways? So Patience able to deal some damage himself here. As we do see the DTs coming back around. Bio still pushing forwards, a few Stalkers going down. Sunstars send up, a couple of Disruptors in the front here. Well, one Disruptor went down, the other Disruptors didn't really connect, and now the Liberators really will push forwards. Because you're getting on top of this base, it's getting pretty scary. And we do see the Bioforce pressing through. The EMPs obviously on these ghosts as well are obviously critical as well, and you've got enhanced shockwave, so you've got the extra radius. And that just means, I mean, one EMP and boom, this whole entire army feels as though it loses all of its shields. Have to dodge those Disruptors right now, though, because obviously ghosts especially are so expensive. Stalkers are going to try and come in from the back to try and get rid of these Liberators, so they're coming in from the south side, going for a couple of Liberators already. The Bio is very heavily stimmed, so have to be careful here, as we do see the Bio chasing those Stalkers away. The Liberators firing, blinking in, couple of Liberators going down. Stalkers being picked away at, and we are going to have the Libs continue to drop here. DTs into the natural expansion being picked away at the moment. So a couple of Dark Templar going down and still pushing down here. Stalkers coming along with a couple of Colossus as well. Big EMP on the DTs reveals them, takes their shields away. Q is pushed all the way back, and Patience is the one with a bank to play with at the moment. That is pretty crazy. Patience might be making this happen. He might be about to make this a PvP semi-final against, I believe, SOS is the play he's going to play. And we do see these couple of Liberators getting cleaned out. So a couple of Liberators going down, more Liberators pressing forwards as well. Bio units trying to clean this up. That's a lot of Stalkers that are going to drop, but again, that Liberator count taking heavy hits. It's just the bank of Patience. I guess a lot of it is only minerals. It's getting pretty crazy. Those DTs are absolutely causing chaos. I'm going to see some Bio units trying to move over there to clean those up right now. The DTs can blink away, though. Again, the mobility those DTs have absolutely works wonders, as we do see the couple of Libs setting up as well. DT is going to come in, blinking forwards. Missile turret will get picked off. This Planetary Fortress is going to be repaired. There's a scan there, so the DTs will get taken down. This is obviously expensive losses for Patience, but he is also pushing in towards this Planetary Fortress. One DT survives. That's so frustrating to have to scan one more time. Yeah, Q is just missing out on bases, right? As this Planetary, I think, is going to fall. It's hard to see its health there because the DT health bar was blocking it. And now the Disruptors will just keep the Bio from chasing, Patience away, basically. And again, Patience has the bases, Patience has the income. What a series. Time and time again, Patience is kind of behind, looking bad, and he's able to turn it around in these larger fights. Patience, the 50 supply lead. As Q will go pushing on forwards here to try and make something happen. The armies are similar. If Q can find an amazing fight right now, maybe he can make something happen, but the Disruptors already kind of just saying no, killing off ghosts as Q tries to push up to this top side. And Q was so close to making this 0-2 deficit, turn around completely, the reverse sweep. But right now it is just not happening. As that Bio unit's picking off probe after probe. So a lot of probes going down here. Actually, this pylon looking as though it's going to drop as well. These couple of assimilators will go down also. This Nexus is about to be picked off as Stalkers over here still dealing some damage. Zealots on the way down. And, well, again, just army of Q being chased. It's only really Liberators at the moment. Reinforcements elsewhere. Bio units are not allowed out because of these Zealots and Stalkers. I mean, you're going to, try and defend this orbital command in this forward position? I mean, it makes sense, right? You've got nothing better to try and do. As the Bio units will find a fight on the Stalkers at least and will survive for the moment. A couple extra Marines getting blown up. Zealot still chasing in. Going after this orbital command, going after this armory. And we do just see this army of patience continuing around over to the left. A bit more bio will come down to the bottom actually and try and clean up some of these zealots. And the zealots are dropping pretty swiftly, so zealots going down. All of those zealots get cleaned out actually, as we do see the Stalkers of Patience up towards the upper side of the map. Our Liberators out into the center, and they're going to try and see what they can do against this Stalker Colossus army. Nice little blink away as Patience able to get out of there. That DT gets picked off as well. I mean, Cure's fighting for 104 supply, right? It's not looking good at all. As we're going to be seeing the EMP on the Stalkers and the Colossus again. Disruptive shot going through. Doesn't really land. The Liberators will at least get sieged up and will start to push out some damage. Another Disruptor gets picked off. Now Zealot's in the bottom left-hand corner as Cure over to the right-hand side. He's going to look to go for this Nexus, so at the same time, these Liberators are just kind of left on their own. I mean, this Nexus is kind of out on Cure's side of the map. But the problem is, Patience doesn't even need that Nexus. He's only taking it because he already has all of his own bases and he has minerals to spare. Why not take it, you know, if it doesn't get shut down? That's great for you. Stalkers blink in. Medivacs are dropping. Medivac's taking a lot of damage there, actually. As you do see Cure on the run. DT gets scanned. He's going to get picked off here by the bio unit. So first DT picked off there. Still Stalker, Zealot trying to push down the bottom. Zealot DT on the left-hand side as well, moving around. And wow, there's just too many units. Cure's trying to hang in until the last possible moment. But Patience, in fairness, is not exactly making it easy for Cure to justify leaving the game because he keeps taking fights where he's not actually winning. Which is obviously kind of crazy as well. DT Zealot will try and see what can be done. 100 supply difference as Patience holds a massive lead in this game. He just can't close it out for whatever reason. He just can't find a way to push in. Zealot DT coming forwards here. Marauder gets picked off. Yeah, I mean, this bottom left base goes down. Maybe lose this base at the same time because obviously the bio army goes to chase that. Yeah, this base falls, this base falls. He has no bases left. He scans and he'll, get rid of the Zealot DT. Then he has to push up to the high ground, and that won't be pretty. Patience takes it 3-2.